Here's your phone, because you're gonna look up some of the stuff
I mean, unless you just want to
that
talk
people
about
said.
flipping in general.
You're gonna look up some of the stuff that people were talking about on the thing. But I mean, yeah, like flipping, that's the whole problem people have, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, they give you an
Like,
attitude.
oh, you're flipping a house, you're flipping a house. And like, I understand like how it appears to people, and they're like, oh, you see this house, and you're just trying to make every penny you can out of it, and you're just a greedy bastard. But in reality, what is it? Why do we even do this? Like, what's our reason?
We like to do it, for one. We pick older houses, and a lot of times they're projects people started and put effort and money into getting it done and just didn't have the resources and the ability to complete them, so we buy them and kind of finish their vision.
Well, finish their vision and kind of create our own, like, or add our own vision to it, or actually see a vision. A lot of times a house has no one's been able to like put together a vision for it. They just see like these walls or this bathroom, this kitchen. They don't even see a potential where things belong or what they should do. It takes like a certain amount of I don't know what the word is, if it's experience or even just imagination. Like some people, you take it for granted, they don't really have an imagination for what it could be. They think
this kitchen didn't have a stove or a dishwasher from the pictures.
Yeah. I mean, it was like just
It was like
just
a
a
sink
room
and
with
a few cabinets. And
a couple of little things, and it wasn't really much of a kitchen there. And I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, that's what we try to do. Like this Jessica Weeks, we represent Crystal Clear Property on Deacon Weeks, and recently we made a video that went viral for little people like us, I guess. Has like 18,000 views right now, close to it anyway. And it was about the codes department on flipping houses and what people say is flipping houses. What's the difference? Like, that's kind of the subject that comes up. It's like when you buy a property, is it your property or does the state own it? Like, that's really the root of the question. Like, whose property is it? Like, I mean, if you're gonna build a new house, like there's certain codes and there's certain things that you have to follow in an area, and it's like, okay, you kind of look at that and you research it as a builder. You say, can we do this? Can we do that? We want to do this. We want to do that. That's where, like, I have different different thoughts on it when it comes to codes and what they represent, what they're for. You want to have contractors that know what they're doing so that your property is good, and the codes exist for a reason to some extent. And it's like, what's the reason that they exist? Why do we have codes? Why do you think we have codes?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on the area and where you're at, obviously.
You're supposed to have them for safety, and it goes back to that whole argument of, do you want to be free or do you want to be safe? But there is a line somewhere that says, okay, how free do you want to be and how safe do you want to be? Like, at the end of the day, we're talking about a product that someone purchases. So it's like, when someone buys a house, what do? What's the number one thing they do when they buy a house?
They have to get an inspection and appraisal.
Yeah, they get inspections and they get appraisers. So someone goes through and nitpicks everything on that house and tells you if there's anything wrong, whether it violates a code or not. So you
obviously have the choice to fix it, or the buyer has the choice to bring it up, and then we have the choice to fix it, repair it, or take less for it or whatever if they have an issue with it.
So you obviously have some safeguards in place for the end buyer, but at the end of the day, you have a reason to do everything correctly. Now, let's measure that against like mom and pop who've had a house for 50 years and try to sell it. Like, what do? They don't do anything. They put the house up and say, well, we've lived here all these years and everything's been fine. Everything's perfect. It's really not. Like, there's really usually a lot of things that have worn out or are wearing out or in bad condition and they need to be fixed. So somebody comes along and purchases that house from them, not for the sake of necessarily them living in it. Maybe they'll live in it. Maybe the family member will live in it. Maybe they'll sell the house. Maybe they'll rent the house. Maybe they'll do all sorts of things with it. But what they do to that house is they typically fix all those little things that previous buyer, who's not really familiar with what a newer product should look like, is going to fix. So they don't know like what your newer fixtures do versus your older fixtures and how they work. So they just want to sell it and move or whatever, or for whatever reason. You don't know that. But when they do sell it, they're not fixing anything. So if someone like us comes along and says, if I buy that house from them right now, it's valued at pre-rehab, it's valued at $150,000, right? We're just trying to make the numbers easy. And most of the houses in the area, if they were new, they'd be selling for $300,000. That's what the market says. The same size and same type of comps. Whereas if they're rehabbed, they might sell for $225,000, right? So then as a person like me might look at it and say, okay, if I put $50,000 of effort into making that house have new fixtures, it'll sell for that closer to that $225,000 mark. So can I make money on that house? Sure, I can make money on it. And will it go up over time? Absolutely, it'll go up over time. But when you buy it, it's not like you buy the house and you're like, I'm just going to do everything all at once. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you're like, I'm going to do everything all at once and get it done and sell it as quickly as possible. Sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. What happened here?
Well, we bought this house with having a very small, tight budget on this house. And we figured we could do a lot of the work to save a lot of the money and not have to hire as many contractors. And we knew it was
did end up having to hire more contractors than we thought, which brought us to the situation with the roof. Why did we have to get a roof? And people always, they're so critical. They're like, you should have known what the codes were before you bought it. Well, first of all, we didn't know we needed a roof.
They had a tin roof.
Yeah.
It wasn't actively leaking except for one spot, but it was debatable if it was the roof.
You have one little drip somewhere. If it's a metal roof, you don't necessarily think the whole roof needs to be replaced. You think, well, I can maybe pull a couple screws out and fix that and get that to stop leaking.
It wasn't trimmed either, so the side trim on the roof wasn't done. That's why we initially called the roofer to trim it.
So that brings up the point. Before I try to fix that leak, am I supposed to go to the codes department and ask this Mr. Moffat or whoever, hey man, what permit do I need to seal this dripping hole in my roof right now so that it doesn't drip any further? Can I get permission to do that, sir? Is that what people are expecting me to do? Or let's assume you have anything else break in your house. You have a flood, an active flood in your house because a pipe burst. Are you supposed to call up the code guy and be like, hey man, I got a flood. I need a permit for this. No. What do? You fix it. You fix the problem. You go in and you fix the problem. And that's what happens here. We're looking at this place and we say, well, this is good. This isn't so good. Let's do a little bit of work here and a little bit of work there as we go. And over time, we'll work on the place and we'll get it done. Their expectation is they want to know everything you're going to do from the beginning to the end. I don't even necessarily always know that because I'm not sure what my budget's going to allow and I'm not sure how far I want to go. But I'm supposed to tell them that?
Yeah.
And how is this an American philosophy where it's like, I've got to tell the government everything I'm doing all the time? When I bought the house and I own it and I pay taxes on it. I don't get it.
And again, this is not a city. This isn't a HOA. This is like the most rural countryside, which is the one apprehension I had on buying this house was that it's too far from anything. And the houses sit on the market for 200 days or more.
Yeah, it could potentially not sell quickly, which is another reason why instead of saying, we just have $100,000 to throw at this house, let's just dump all this money in and get it done right now. And there was some comments on there, they just wanted a quick flip. Quick flip, we've been here a year.
Yeah, like someone said, you saw the dollar signs on that place.
Yeah, we saw the dollar signs, yeah, because this market gets so much money, right? It's just such a vibrant market that sells so quickly. Now, what we actually do, let's go back to the vision thing. On our page, we have a thing that says, something to the effect of changing the world by one house at a time, fixing one house at a time. Our whole goal is just to fix problems, to help these places that no one wants, no one cares about, that would just sit here and rot. We're the people who say, you know what, we actually want to try to give it new life again. We want to try to breathe new life into it so that a family can move there and fall in love with it and want to raise their family there. It isn't in our benefit to do things wrong. It isn't in my benefit to ever do anything that's going to give that family a problem. We want them to have a house that they can cherish and love. Especially if my parents had to move into it, which is a reality that might be something that we might do, is have a family member move into it. Yeah, our page says taking the broken, the imperfect, the unwanted, and making it beautiful again. And this is one of my favorite verses that I've attached to our business because I do believe in Jesus Christ, and I am for lack of a better term, I am a Christian because of that. Where there is no vision, a nation will perish. And that's Proverbs 29:18. And I believe that fits perfectly with our business model. Like, we believe we have a vision not only for this house, but for every house that we decide we're going to buy. And that vision isn't always apparent right now completely, but we have a vision for it. We have a vision for ourselves and our company as we grow. What is that vision?
I mean, right now we're just fixing one house at a time. We're hoping to be able to offer rent to own so that people who can't get financing through the ridiculous bank systems of credit scores and whatever can actually finance a good quality home, unlike up in the Tri-Cities where there's people trying to do rent to home fixer uppers with 10 grand down,
and they can't
a
live in the
monthly
house.
payment,
Like, the houses are
and the houses
unlivable.
are bad,
Unlivable.
like, bad shape.
And you're talking about somebody that can put $10,000 down right now and pay $1,000 a month, and they can't even live in the house.
And the
I'm looking at that and I'm like,
so crooked.
this is so awful. Like, why can't we just create a situation where we can help hardworking Americans achieve the dream of home ownership again by giving them a good, solid house that they don't have to jump through all of these hoops that a bank would do. Not obviously there would be security, like it would be secure. You'd have to interview the people and find out their situation, the work, what they're doing, all these types of things. There would be a method to it, but I feel like the banking system is broken, and I feel like that the amount of interest that these banks get is criminal. It is absolutely criminal. You amortize a loan for a mortgage, and you don't even pay anything towards that house for like 5 to 10 years, right?
The first 5 years you're paying like
none of it. It's all interest.
Like 5 grand.
It's so low. It's so ridiculous.
You end up paying like 3 times the amount of the house that you bought it for.
Yeah, and we did the math on it one time, and it was like if you don't sell your house within 5 to 10 years, you are potentially going backwards on that loan, even if the house value is going up.
All your equity is eaten up in interest and bank fees.
You pay like the whole amount of the house within that period, and then you're doubling that as you pay it off, and the house isn't keeping up with it a lot of times. So the only way you make it is before that 5 or 10 years, sell the place, roll that money into another property. Most people actually get a bigger house instead of a smaller house. We did the opposite. The reason we're here, the reason we could do this, we sold a 11-acre property that we owned, and we, instead of going and buying a 20-acre property with our money on that, we moved to a 1-acre property and took the other money and started trying to make other houses better. And it has been a difficult task. And we both I have a background in plumbing. Like I've been doing plumbing since I was 13, 14 years old. I started doing it. Her dad is a contractor who has done a lot of work on houses, and she worked with him, and we both have a passion for what we've already said. And it is sad to me that not very many people can see our vision. And, it is what it is. Not everyone's going to like what you do. They're going to have their preconceptions, their preconceived notions about what you do. But what I don't understand is why people don't realize that if someone purchases a house, that house belongs to them regardless of what they're doing with it. Yeah. Right?
They should get to fix it and work on it, and it shouldn't have to be this big. I mean, look at the house we live in. We live in one that we've been fixing up. And we are just working on it. When I'm not working here, I'm working there. And it's like, I'm not going to ask permission to go, can I go do this? Can I go do that? It's like, oh, I got some time. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, I have this material now because it's left over from this other project, or it came with the other project, so I'm going to use it for here.
Yeah.
It's not all pre-planned. We reuse a lot of the supplies and refurbish a lot of things, and we try to use anything that's usable.
We don't just throw everything away like you see on all these TV shows.
Smash and toilets.
Break toilets, break all this stuff. You know why? Because when we do any kind of demolition, we try to save every piece, because if we're not going to use it and fix it up and use it somewhere else, someone else might want to. And more than once I pulled out what I thought wouldn't be a good enough vanity, for instance, for a bathroom for the next customer to finish this house, but it was perfect for what someone else needed or wanted, and they were in need, and we give it to them, or even sell some for $10 or $20 cheap, way cheaper than they could get anywhere else. And it's like, there's something that is profoundly wrong with just taking and destroying everything just because you're pulling it out of a house that's older. Especially some of the wood and some of the trim and some of the things that are much higher quality trim than you can buy today. And trim is so expensive. It is so pricey. It's ridiculous. And that, unfortunately, reflects on the end value of the house, like the cost of the house. Like, how much money do we put into trim in this house? Thousands of dollars of trim in this house. Just trim. Just wood like this. Some of these boards are like $8 a piece.
Yeah.
Like, so, oh, what? You just want to make all this money and you just want to do all this stuff and like, you're greedy. No, we do want to make a living. Absolutely. And we also want to provide good quality houses for other people.
We also enjoy teaching the kids and having the kids help as they can, and showing them how to do this stuff so that they can buy a house, hopefully, or pick a house that we're doing and we can make it for them. And whether we use the stuff we pull out, say that still works, and they have almost all free stuff from the houses, or they do it completely.
But no matter what you say or what you do, there's just a certain class of people who are going to be like, you always have to ask permission from the local authorities if you're going to do any kind of work in your house whatsoever. Yeah. And I don't understand it. Like, I really, truly do not understand it. Like, I don't get why the average citizen would think like that. It's like this, what is it? Like, what is in somebody?
Extra money to pay out for permission to do something for no value, really.
You get nothing for it. There's
they're not
absolutely
going to tell you how to do
it.
it right.
No. I mean, at least if I was sitting on the porch
tell you
thinking,
how you did it wrong.
If I was going to validate the job of someone who's a code enforcer in that way, for people to do what we do, I'm not even talking about new construction where I could kind of see that there's an understanding of the area, the foundations, and what's required there and how it works. I kind of get that. Like, I'm not completely all the way saying that we don't need any kind of oversight. I just don't think we need it the way it is. I think that people that are repairing their houses, whether they're doing it to sell it or to live in it, I think that there should be, if there's going to be an involvement with them, you should be able to go to that resource. That should be a resource and say, hey, I'm not sure how to do this. I'm not sure the right way that this is supposed to go. And not feel like you're going to be penalized if you made a mistake, or not feel like they're just trying to, okay, you could do that, but you have to pay me now to do it. I mean, we pay enough taxes. Like, we freaking have to pay taxes for everything. The amount of money these people collect is absolutely unreal. It's unreal, and it's sick.
Well, just all the sales tax in general to do these is a lot.
So if they're going to exist, they should be a resource for homeowners or different people to say, I'm not sure how to do this. What's the right way to do it? And then that person can tell you that this is what the book says. Or this is what I've known from my experience or what I've seen because I've got experience. Hopefully the person there has had some experience, but you never know. They probably have never done anything in their life, which is why they have that job. They have jobs that live off of the production of other people. Literally. The definition of a parasite?
Living off its host.
Living off its host. It cannot actually survive unless the host survives. So if we fail, they don't live. They don't exist. Like, if people like us fail, they don't exist. Because they don't do anything. They're not adding any value to the community whatsoever. If they're just going to you and doing like this guy did in the previous video, oh, knock, knock, knock. Hey, are you doing any work in there that might require a permit? And it's so ridiculous, this situation, because obviously he saw that the roof was done.
Everything he saw was done,
yeah.
And then I did end up letting him in.
Out of coercion, because a police officer came and was threatening you.
He threatens me to say, okay, cease work order.
Yeah, we're going to pull
I'm
your
like,
freaking
okay, so
certificate of
can I paint
occupancy.
then, or I just can't paint, I can't do anything. I drove, the distance to come here, and I'm ready to work, so I'm supposed to just not work.
Yeah.
And how long does that last, and what's the process? And it's basically the process until you let them in, so it's not much of a process there. I mean,
and so he came in the house and looks all around and, well, you've saved thousands of dollars by letting me in here. Hundreds, however many. You've saved all this money by letting me come into your house, even though you didn't want me in here, and you said you didn't think I should come in the house. Because what did he decide? He said, your roof needs a permit. Okay, we gave the information to the roofer. We told the roofer, hey, this guy's sweating us on a permit. Can you help us out? The roofer was like, I don't think you guys need a permit out there. All I see is decks. Of course we have a deck. And I'm like, he's like on the deck, and he says, well, your deck's pretty small. I don't know if you actually need a permit for it. And then he's like, he's like, HVAC. What do you say about HVAC? Because that guy, interestingly enough, we have a new HVAC system. We have a new HVAC system that we had a licensed HVAC company put in. There was already an HVAC system here, though. It wasn't like they replaced the system that was there with the system we had. Unfortunately, something happened to it because new stuff doesn't always work that good, and it quit working. And they were here working on it when he was here.
Yeah, so he was like,
It's
yep,
like,
you probably need
a permit for your HVAC too. And I'm like, I didn't even sweat the HVAC company on that one. I didn't even go to them and say anything. I just was like, whatever, we'll pay it. We'll pay the stupid thing.
I guess.
And I don't even know what do we get for that? Basically nothing. The HVAC was in. The parts for the repair will be here, and they should be put in this week sometime.
So we can't have our final inspection until the HVAC.
This is what I don't understand. I don't understand this final inspection. Like, I don't understand why, if all I needed is a permit for the roof, permit for the deck, and permit for the HVAC, all of which are pretty much done.
They're done.
What does he need to come in here again for when he said we didn't need permits for anything else? He's overstepping. That's what he's doing. Like, he doesn't know what he's supposed to do.
He's trying to bring up the mudroom, but if I can put walls on and I can paint, the mudroom.
We asked if we needed any other permits when we were in there, and he was just like, deer in the headlights. I don't know anything about my job. Like,
well, he kept saying, I'm new. And it's
I'll find one. That's the whole game. I'll find a permit that you might need.
Maybe you should know your job before you come and approach me about it.
And the mudroom, what does it need? Like, that's the point. It's
walls.
That's all. That's it. It doesn't have the walls.
Walls and trim.
The issue where the reason it's being done last is because we're using it to cut, like, trim and stuff. And the drip that was on the roof that created this whole problem was actually in the mudroom. And that's why we didn't it's kind of the end when you leave. That's where you go through, so it makes sense it's the last thing. But it's like, it just needs walls, basically, and everything's sort of put back together in there. Trim, all that kind of thing. So what permit do I need? I don't know. He won't tell me. But somehow, we're the bad guys here. And people go to their defense. They're like, you need to listen to these, I don't know, state workers. Like, this.
They're good people.
Yeah, they're good people.
Okay.
Good people
They're
cease to be good people if they do bad things. Like, if your whole purpose is to go around, push people around, and take their money and take their stuff, that's not my definition of good. Like, what is he doing that's good?
We give a lot back to the community as well. We have people that we supply scrap with because we could cash it in, but we don't. We generally just give it to someone who does that. And
we do hire people and pay them to do work.
Yeah,
like,
we hire people.
We do buy a lot of material in the state of Tennessee.
We buy tons of materials from various places.
We do fix places that no one else wanted, that we actually tried to sell before it was even done. Like, it's not done now, but when it was like for someone, barely started, and nobody wanted it. Like, everybody like, because why? They don't have a vision. And that takes us full circle. We have the vision. The vision has pretty much come together. This place is 95, 98% done, 95% done.
The floors and paint.
Yes, we got to sand the floors.
And then the walls and the mudroom.
Stain the floors, paint, and then do the little mudroom. And that's it. Anyway, this is just our first little conversation video. Maybe we'll do some more. We'll see if anybody cares to hear our little story. We appreciate you listening to us.